Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for another edition of the weekly brainstorm. Today we have Harshala with us. Hey Harshala, uh, she will be talking to us a little bit about Merative, what she's building, what she's trying to solve with that. And I think it was just recently that she was trying to trying to figure out how to kind of grow the platform a little more and things like that on Unsolved. And I said, hey, why don't you just present at the weekly brainstorm? I thought she had made some headway on the product, right? Yeah, kind of just open the platform out. For those who are new, right, to the weekly brainstorm format, I'll quickly kind of share how this whole thing works. One, founder presence. And for the next 30 minutes, we try to put ourselves in the shoes of the founder and kind of just see if you had to do the startup yourself, what would you do to make it succeed, right? I mean, that's pretty much the crux of the whole weekly brainstorm, where you put yourself in the shoes of the founder. And sometimes whatever we do here on the weekly brainstorm mirrors the work that we do on Unsolved itself, where you can go browse anywhere, any startup, leave a suggestion for them, all of that, right? So you can either leave a suggestion, you can ask a question, you can offer help, you can collaborate, all of that. So this is just a video version of everything that we do on Unsolved itself. And yeah, the objective really is to ensure that young startups get the help that they sometimes, you just need multiple thinking minds, to think of a problem from different angles and see if you're going in the right direction, right? So I think that's what we are really attempting to do here. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us today. I'm going to kind of hand over to Harshala to talk a little bit about Merative, give you some context, share the challenges that she's currently facing, right, and then open it up to brainstorm for pretty much any concept, right? Some things on the brainstorm you can just use the chat screen for brainstorms. If there's any specific questions that you would like me to ask Harshala basis what you see in her presentation, you can just add it to the questions tab, right? And of course, you can raise your hand to come up on stage. Your raise hand feature is only available if you're joining in from a laptop. All right. So that's around about it. Harshala, over to you, and looking forward to hearing all that you're building at Merative.
So I'll share my screen right now, right?
Yeah, sure.
Can you all see it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So hi everyone. I'm Harshla Chavan and I'm founder of Merative. I'm from Mumbai, and the thing is why I created Merative in first place was because I'm an avid reader and I like to read across a variety of topics. Like technology, business, and even startups. And what I really noticed was that in order to really talk to and whenever I find a good article or something, I do like I do want to talk about it, and yeah, I do want to share insights or have a discussion on something that is mentioned in that article or that particular book as well. And all options that I really had, which I felt were I immediately either text friends who are whom I think would have some insights from a book or an article that I'm reading, or else I tried to post on social media. I even tried to create an Instagram page wherein I used to post. About awesome articles and insights from it. It didn't work out because I didn't get a lot of good comments, or it was just getting a few likes but not anything more than that. I also tried Twitter, and the same thing happened over there. And I just felt that gap. Like I was just wondering that the same book or article is being read by a lot of people worldwide, and I felt restricted with my present personal and social network that I had. So because my friends really don't read the same as I do, and uh, the present social networks weren't giving me the kind of results that I was expecting, and hence I started developing on this concept, which basically connects you with people who have read the same, as well as discover other books articles people are recommending. So Merative is primarily focused on conversations, on discussions, that if you want to talk about a book or an article, you basically come to our platform, you open up a conversation, either you open up on our you know on our particular website itself, or else you can also we also conduct live sessions, just like how we are doing it right now for Unsolved. So what we do is we basically go live on a Facebook and YouTube. We call in a bunch of people who have read the same book or the same article, and they fix up on discussion points and discuss it. So these are the two ways in which you can do discussions. So um, so this is like the page wherein the value proposition that we have is, when you join Merative, you are talking about books that you think are worth talking about, or we have provided features which allows you to create collections and recommend books and articles as well. So we basically want to save time to find your next best read, meet readers of varied taste and experience a holistic community. And I think I'll just go to the You all can hear me, right?
Yeah, 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 absolutely.
So basically, we have this for you section, which like let's do the explore first. So explore is basically just we have all these topics, that are mentioned, and you can basically select any of those topics, and you'll come to know any discussions that are being spoken around, let's say biotech, remote work, or product management. Similarly, goes for literature, technology, and we list out all the latest recommended books and the conversations that are trending. Basically, a lot of people are talking about. So this is in terms of, let's say, I pick this one. And so what we do is we allow you to follow a particular article, and whenever there is or a book, and whenever there is a discussion going around a road not taken or any other book that is over here, you come to know about, you get a notification that there's a new discussion that is being opened up. You can share your opinions, you can share reviews. If you want to share a summary, you can do that as well, and you can invite others, who has read the same book or the same article. If you want to invite them to share their insights, and you'll also come to know if there are more discussions which are tagged, which have tagged the road not taken, then you will come to know about those as well. And this is basically on the website, and rooms is basically the live version that I spoke about. So you can host rooms. It's basically an open platform for small groups to engage in conversation around a book or an article. So, uh, we have a host which who take up the responsibility of conducting these small scale meetups, and there are a couple of meetups that we have already done. This is one on a feminist literature. Then this is on the Kite Runner, and this is by Midnight Sun, and this is on Bad Blood. So a variety of people come together who have read the same book, and they start discussions on that. And for you feature is basically like we curate. We ask you when you sign up about the topics that you are interested in, and it basically curates for you. And if you want to explore more, then you basically click on explore. I've provided the simple read later feature as well, which allows you to basically bookmark uh, books and articles that you want to read but you haven't read. We also show you all the recommended reads that people have marked, and basic features like other readers whom you could follow. So how it works is basically you just click on start a conversation, you type a title which is like around 250 characters. So you can just mention a thought process around a book or the article. It's mandatory to tag a book or tag an article over here, and if you want to talk more, you can talk more. And there's this recommended toggle that we have given, and then you just click on publish to publish the particular book or an article. So I think that's all I have.
Okay,
Rest is the profile feature, which is like simple profile. I can show it also, I guess.
got a bunch of questions, right?
Yeah,
I think the standard one is, Goodreads and how you're different, right?
yeah.
So is this a place that I come to discover new books, or is this the place I come to discuss books, right? It's like a book club online, right? At some level.
So it's not right to really say book club as such, because even if we are for both books and articles. If there is any content that you want to talk about, you can use a particular platform, and yes, it's mostly a discussion platform by keeping a book or an article as a basis. So you cannot for example, what happens on Twitter is, people just come, they talk about whatever they have in their mind. And but here, if you want to talk about something, you want to share your thoughts, you have to keep a book or an article as a basis for it. So you can say that it's like an online book club, but again, we are not for books. You can discuss news articles as well. There are people who have posted about the recent media crisis, like how the media has just gone downtrodden. One of them had shared a very good article she found on that. That this is not just happening right now, but it's happening since a very long time, and it was a very chronologically written article. And she shared that, and she shared her thoughts on the same. There are people who talk about startups as well. There are people who talk about fiction books, which are like typical fiction books, and people who talk about articles which are very niche. It will be like, let's say, a short story, or it will be on, let's say, one that I can remember is, let's say, this is Hyderabad one article on how it is actually simple of changing it. So it's actually a very good article which I've discovered over here. So it's primarily a discussion platform, and creating collections and all is something of features that I have given in order to enhance the experience. And why I say that we are into curation is because you tag a book or tag an article because you think that there is something worth talking about that book or an article, uh, which is why we say that our platform actually indirectly curates as well. Plus, there's this recommend feature that I have given, which allows you to mark a particular book as a recommended uh, article. So whenever you click the recommended button, it shows in your recommendations over here. Whether it's a book or an article, it shows it together. So that is what it is primarily about.
Got it. I think there are a few suggestions also from folks which says, can this be extended to other content forms like video and audio?
So right now, I have not made it for video and audio, because the whole crux of you know uh, for me to really do this is to discuss on things which are on a written basis. It's because there are a lot of videos that are there available on YouTube. So you might be having a good intention as to post a video, share videos that are good and are talking sense, but there are a lot of shitty videos out there. And I have noticed that people start spamming and everything. So right now it is completely about books and articles. And
Fair enough.
here,
Fair enough.
yeah.
How do you intend to make money though? I mean, like, what is your business model that you have in mind?
Yeah, so we are basically going to go deeper into the content industry that is there, that is the books and articles. And what we are planning to do is, first of all, you can, promote your post that are there if you want to, basically ads. So, but the ads that you can do over here is basically boost posts that are done on the platform by you. Like, you cannot do it how it happens on Facebook or Instagram, wherein you can create external ads or something. You can't do that. Like, we are going to go more on the basis of how Quora does it, that whatever content or and format that they have. So like on Quora, you can promote Quora questions and Quora answers, and that's what you can do. So here also you can promote the conversations that are there, or any collection that you have created. So that's what you can promote. And another aspect that I'm exploring is for employee engagement of corporates. So I have noticed that corporates do want to engage their employees with reading related activities. Toastmasters is an example. It's for speaking and reading both. So I do see signs that they want to engage their employees in these things. Having a library also is a sign that corporates are interested in reading related stuff. There are already NGOs which work with corporates who are about giving donation, books donation, all those things, which I know are working with corporates for these activities as well. So we want to create a plan which allows them to have a private room which curates articles for them as per their industry, as well as allows them a water cooler sort of a thing, for talking about books and articles within their circle that is there. And also we can go live with a particular brand. I think LBB is a brand that did that very recently, wherein they actually conducted webinars with Upgrad, curated webinars with Upgrad, wherein they brought in a bunch of people together, and they went live and did a brand building exercise for Upgrad basically. But of course we won't do a
Okay.
webinar, we will do a discussion sort of a thing that
Okay.
we already do. We do it
Okay,
on a
well,
branded
Harsha,
way.
just got it. I mean, I think I mean, I'm not sure exactly like why people will be boost posting. Is it to get a followership? But I'll hold those questions for a little bit because I would like to
Yeah.
kind of pull up Chakradhar on stage, who's kind of said he's read 4,000 books in the last 4 years. So I think
Oh my
he's
God.
I don't know how he did that, but nonetheless,
Wow.
I'm going to pull him up, and I think he can tell you more about what he may be looking for from a platform like this.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, of course.
So maybe you can just stop the screen share, and I'll pull up,
Okay.
Chakradhar, and you can have a
Yeah.
conversation. Yeah.
Hi. Uh,
Hi.
Hey, hi.
this is a dream application. I think I'm going to be in love with Merative. I already signed on
Yay.
in the last few seconds. So, a couple of big things for you. I think I posted them out in the chat window, and I'm sure Ishwar is putting it on your webpage as well. What is it? Why should I come on to the platform other than to my need for telling other people what I am doing or what I have done? That itself is pretty big. So maybe if you can think through, me and Ishwar and everybody here in Unsolved, we are figuring out ways of how it, as if I am your extension arm, I'm your sales arm, so to speak. So what's in it for me to bring people onto the platform?
I
So,
think first, the coming onto the platform itself, there has to be enough. Like, see, the problem really is that is there anyone who's uh, like, how do you monetize something, right? I mean, if you can monetize something if either there is enough value for the user to pay, right? Or if there is, let's say, a club kind of membership kind of model, or let's say you have such a monstrous amount of views and content being generated that you can actually turn on advertising. In an ideal world, you don't want to rely on advertising to start with because it needs a volume of users which is crazy in number, right? I mean, to generate meaningful income.
Yeah.
uh, yeah.
that is
Beautiful,
there.
beautiful idea. What I'm just taking off on what Ishwar is saying. So if there's an article from Times of India and
Hmm.
somebody clicks in from there and then it gets monetized,
Hmm.
something should come back to you. So you could have these agreements with everybody, and I think there are a lot of magazines and a lot of newspapers all over the world who would pay for that. Uh,
Okay.
and if people are signing on from Merative, then they're getting a discount.
Hmm.
And you,
Affiliate marketing, like.
right,
Yeah.
right. So that's I think taking off on Ishwar's thoughts are always fun. I think he knows how to make the money. Um,
I
but
don't. I wish I did.
the
I'm trying to figure
golden
it out
scenario,
myself.
the golden scenario for you, which I posted in chat, was take it to the next level. Discussions. having a platform for people to say what they want to say, but also to band around it. So, I don't want to say, but it might scare you off, but your website could be the next, the originator for the next Silent Spring. So that's possible. But you may need to have a
What? Silent Spring, what does that mean?
it's basically a group of people coming together and starting a revolution that happened in Egypt.
Oh,
Um,
my God.
so it happened in Egypt just by a series of tweets and stuff like that. But the point being, can you help them? But also a bigger question on what will you censor? Because there will be firstly what will you censor in books and what will you censor in articles, and what kind of language can you automatically censor. Because you would have seen people just get on the soapbox and they are very negative and they might kill the whole ambience.
Yeah, just gonna pause this a little, right? Harshada, trying to come down to your core offering. Your core offering really is that me as a user, I have read a book or read an article, and I want to discuss it. Right?
Mm.
That's
Yeah,
it,
that is the
essentially.
core
So
thing.
that's the core thing that you are trying to solve for, right? Now,
Yeah,
whether you're discussing it in a written form, whether you're doing your hoster room kind of mimics book clubs at some level, right?
yeah,
It
yeah,
did kind of exist over there. Somewhere there, I don't know, just between the two options of written comments discussing an article. Sometimes I'm like, why can't they just discuss that where the article was posted? Because typically articles also have
yeah.
abilities to leave
Yes,
comments,
yes.
right? So, I mean, that's the
So
ideal.
yeah, so I came to know, I mean, inspired because of the comments only, because I do read comments. I like reading comments, especially in New York Times. The New York Times is, to be very honest, is the only website I've found whose comments are so good. And but that's not the case with other blogs, or other newsletters, niche newsletters, because people don't know about them. And that's where I thought, like, at some point I have to do a partnership with these publishers or these blogs, wherein there's an exchange of comments between their platform and our platform as well, or something like that. But then, this whole commenting thing is something where I do see more of a partnership, rather than a competition. But getting those comments in my platform is what is my actually an actual goal, because that's the only thing that was satisfying me when I did not have Merative. you know but that was happening only with the good platforms like New York Times, or else, let's say, on somebody on Quora is not discussing in book or article, but probably it's just a random question somebody has put on a book. So
I
that's
get it.
the
I'm just saying,
yeah.
articles normally have the ability to leave comments. Now,
Hmm.
sometimes the comments are of high value depending on who is
Yeah,
commenting. Sometimes it's not. What you're
yeah.
basically saying is that you have a high value comment pool, right? Of people
Hmm.
who can actually analyze and kind of say, hey, this piece was interesting for this reason, and things like that.
Hmm.
I still think, so Karan, I would, Chakradhar, I'll just pull up Karan as well. If Karan's available, and because I saw an interesting point where he said, can this be the place to launch books? Right?
Yeah,
Because if I'm launching a book, I actually want people to discuss it. I want to have a recording for that. Right.
yeah.
So I would like to kind of was
So
Karan, if you
I can just answer questions that Chakradhar sir had. I think he was
perfect.
asking me as to what's in it for him really. So the major value proposition is like about expanding your ideas on what you have consumed. Because that's what you do when you share a book or an article with some other friend. That's what you are doing. You want someone else's perspective. So Merative is aiming to connect you with those who have read the same, so that you can get that particular perspective. So you can invite others, so that all your conversations are in one place. And when you do that on WhatsApp or you do it on Facebook Messenger, it just the end it just scatters off, it just goes off. So of course, WhatsApp is also one of my major is because that's like people are using that right now to even book clubs are on WhatsApp actually. So I also need to find a way to get people out of these existing platforms and use Merative primarily for their discussion things. So, probably, but that's a design problem for the website, I think.
Again, I don't know if that's, see, basically people meet each other wherever they are already present, right? At some level, so they're already on WhatsApp. So it makes it easier to just cause a WhatsApp group rather than join a platform for the. So the reason I join a platform has to be at some level to meet people who I can't meet otherwise,
Mhm.
right?
Oh,
So
that's a
that
good point. Yeah.
there is a newness to it, right? Like so it's like you may find introductions happening, you may suddenly find that there is a new book being discussed which is in your interest area, you want to join that discussion, right? Because book clubs will be closed, right? So now if you can discover book clubs, right? Like let's say, hey, this is a book club that does this, and sometimes there is a person discussing who's of value. There is a lot of people who will just take value out of watching that discussion as well, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you're discussing a very good, let's say, hard thing about hard things for startup world, right? One of the big books I really like, for example, and there's like every page almost is like loaded with information. I mean, it's almost like something you have to go back and read over and over again. Now if someone was discussing that and I could just watch, right, saying, hey, we're just going to discuss this, and I could watch, that would be an interesting piece for me. Is, do I want to do that in a written form? I don't know yet. Like I'm just saying,
Yeah, I'm seeing less engagement in written form and more actually instantaneous engagement in live. There is repeat literally when it for the live sessions. We are already booked for a lot of sessions for host and all, but in the written form, I am actually seeing I have to force them. you know, uh,
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, I feel like the between the two features, if I just have to say which one I liked more, the written or the room, right? It almost just felt like join a book club online, discuss stuff face to face. We have a new discussion happening every single day, new book, new topic in every genre. You can join that room, discuss or watch whatever, right? You can be a part of the discussion if you have read the book. If you just want to watch, you can do that. I felt like that's where a lot of the value is. I'm just pulling Karan up because I think some of these thought process got triggered because he talked about book launches and authors. I feel like what he says, would really love access to a book club that does these public discussions, right?
yeah. So I think he left.
Yeah, some internet issue. I'm pulling him back.
I,
Yeah.
first of all, great work with the website, Harshla. This is one
Thank
of
you.
the best websites I've seen very recently. So I had
It's a no-code platform.
yes,
Yeah, it's a no-code platform.
yes, but it looks very well
It's a
done.
no-code tool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a no-code tool called Bubble. I used Bubble for this.
Okay, so that's amazing. So now I had a couple of suggestions. So the suggestions I'm giving you is because I also launched a startup in the same domain, which failed. So the startup was called Bookteria, in which we used to actually suggest books, and we also had book launches. We even launched a couple of books. We invited the celebrities and stuff. So now there are a couple of things. First of all, is that if you are suggesting a person to read a book, so there should also be an option that surprise me, because a person who is reading
Mhm.
fiction throughout. So according to your platform, you're only going to give them suggestions, yeah,
Yeah.
regarding
Yeah.
fiction, but you need to elaborate the person's scope of vision that okay, you need to read these things as well. So probably you
Mm.
can surprise the other person by including some other aspects because you don't want to confine the person's thinking. That is
Mm.
one part. Second part is when it comes to community building. So people having same interests, so they generally tend to meet, and we can probably have a dating feature or something that is unique because see, we need to build USPs. The most of the suggestions I've seen in the chat right now are that we need to have USPs or something that is a differentiating factor. So if
Yeah.
we include some factors such as a dating factor in this, that can be done. Then we need to include
Dating.
dating kind of a thing because see, people having same interests, people having the same concepts. I'm just I'm giving
Yeah.
you thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Then
This brainstorming goes wild, Harsh, right? So
Yeah, I've noted
take
it down
something,
actually.
reject something, right? That's fine.
okay, so next you need to have ebooks definitely incorporated in this. You can
Yes,
also tell
yes.
the people that in case if they are planning to start their own publishing, so you can probably offer them WordPress blogs or small content which you can incorporate within your website for a chargeable basis because you again need to work on the monetization part. So suppose there's
Yeah.
a budding author who is actually very active, they want to write somewhere, so you can give them a platform to write and then include their books on your platform for discussion for a chargeable amount. So I'll give you my
Okay.
story that can be published through a blog, and you charge me for letting people discuss my blog because I'm a new
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
This can be done. Then people are crazy about authors. So if I talk about a book signing thing, so that is going to
Mm.
be a thing of the past. But if you can actually provide that, okay, we are going to discuss this book and then we are going to sell the books signed by the author, so you can command a premium on that.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yes. Then you can also have subscription kits which are delivered, which have a curated set of books which will be delivered to the person on the basis of
Mm.
interest. After a month, it is going to be collected back. And you need to have competitions done that who reads the maximum books because Chakradhar has read 3 books on an average for the past 4 years. So that
I don't know whether he
is
got the zeros right or he added a zero by mistake. I don't know. I mean, it's like crazy
that is
number.
Yeah, 4,000 is
so,
crazy.
so people want to compete. So competitive spirit or gamification needs to be done in the whole model because otherwise
Yeah.
people are going to lose interest. So to
Yeah,
maintain
right.
engagement, you need to have either competition or target that okay, you need to complete 5 books within this month. Okay, so something of this sort,
Mm.
we gamify the whole model because otherwise,
Mm.
if I am interested, I have read a book. Okay, now next what? Why should I come back to your platform? You are only going to
Mm.
give me the recommendations that I already have, right? So there are
Mm.
other platforms. We need to be different from them. Then offline meetups need to be facilitated, book launches and all. People having the same interest. So you can have
Mm.
something that okay, today we are having a fictional. People who are interested in fictional books, they should meet at this particular location in this particular city, and you can have a guest speaker or a surprise mentor who just takes it on.
Mm.
Participate in the Jaipur Literature Festival and the other book shows that
Mm.
are happening, right? Because
Yeah,
that
but
is
they
going to give you
charge a lot.
participate as an audience. You don't have to, yeah, because see, you have to interact, you have to network. To run a startup, you don't need to invest that much. You need to just be very proactive. So there you are going to get 3 to 4 thousand people who are interested in books, who are literary folks. You know the sessions that they are attending. So probably you can just start making conversations around them. That okay, this is the author. Grab a few photos with the author so that it builds credibility because you again need to establish something that okay, why are you the best person or the platform to go for the books because you are going to have plenty of photos with different reputed authors. Suppose if you get a photo with Shashi Tharoor, after that you say I'm into English, that's going to add a lot of value, right? So such things can be done. Apart from that, some other suggestions are that you can pivot this. You can actually license the whole model to educational content. Create something that is Mirathi, basically Mirathi dot education or something of that sort, in which
Yeah.
there is only discussions and suggestions and articles regarding, say, science stream or something of that sort. Because
Yeah.
you already have the technology. Now, technology's work is to scale it across different domains. So you can use this technology, pivot it towards education, pivot it towards any other domain, say construction. So people who are industry specific want to get industry specific books and industry specific articles. So you can probably have subdomains in which you just keep on pivoting the technology and build a whole set of conglomerate companies having focus on the content delivery, on the content discoverability.
Mm.
I'm just going to pause you, Karan. I think there were like a zillion thoughts
I've
with
written
you
all of
that
it.
you. Okay, cool, awesome. Right, so
Thank you so
and
much.
please do also write some of these down on her page. That would be really useful because going back at this, it's a little hard for everyone to process live, right? So as much as I'm sure she's tried, but one thought, I'm just trying to come back to your core feature, right? I think everyone is asking what is that USP that doesn't exist today and how do you monetize? At this point in time, I think both of those are relatively weak links. Like when I heard
Mm.
how you plan to monetize, I was not very confident, right?
Mm.
So I
No,
feel
I
when
just said I haven't really pinpointed on that yet. I just said
fair
it.
enough. That's okay, and you don't have to know it
Mm.
all, right? But I'm just saying, somewhere there, this core thing, you're also finding that people are more willing. to do the room thing, right? And you've got tech already available. If you just partner with Amit saying, hey, we are doing this discussion today, we are doing this discussion today every day, and it's important to discuss a famous book, right? So let's say if you're doing in the startup community, you will say, hey, today we want to do let's say the lean startup, or you want to do hard thing about hard things, or you want to do 0 to 1, because these are famous books in the startup world. And we're going to say, hey, these are some of the landmark books, and we're going to get opinions on these books from these 6 awesome people as well, right? So
Okay.
if you invite startup folks who have read the book, right, let's say influencers who have read the book, get a discussion going there, and then say, hey, we're doing this, you can join this book club, right, in this
Yeah.
manner. That will cause a lot more traction for you. Not just then, it's about, I can either participate in the conversation or I can come and watch the conversation. In both ways, I'm winning, right? Which is very important for everyone to do, right? And then you start saying, hey, we have this book club, that book club, you can join, we're going to discuss this book today, right? So you and I feel, stick to books rather than articles, because articles are by themselves supposed to be dense. I mean, like, you take a micro point and you're trying to talk about it, right? I know there are very, very long articles that are possible, but books means then you're activating your monetization opportunity, because everybody wants to be an author. People are publishing books, they're self-publishing books, right? Now they want people to read that book and kind of talk about it, right? Now then this community can become that early book reader, discusser, launch a book here at this fee, right? All of that stuff. Now suddenly that becomes a very, and then if you have a decent audience that's listening in on these conversations, everything falls together fairly well. Your core is, we discuss books. Someone wants to launch a book, we'll have a core group that will read that book and discuss it in a public forum, but that is a paid for feature, right? So launches are paid for features. Everything else, if it's a really good book, that is free, right? Because that's where you kind of get your conversation going on. I feel in that direction. Karan, go ahead. And there are a few more folks who'd like to say some stuff. I'll
So
try and pull them up after
I
this.
just
Yeah.
complete a few more points. So for you, the benefit is that you are in the books domain, and the people who are your audience are going to be book lovers. The good thing about books is that it is a cost, like it is not a very expensive product. So when you run giveaways or launches or anything of that sort, so you can probably say that, okay, if you, the person who reads the most books, we are going to actually promote you, or the person who gets the most likes is going to get a book free of cost. So now book is anywhere between say 100 to 1000 rupees on an average, not beyond that. So a customer acquisition cost is going to be very, very low. So that is one of the biggest advantage that you have. So try to use it in the right way. Because if
Yeah.
you keep on giving books free of cost also, and you build a very good community around it, so probably you can say that, okay, we are having this author, we are going to have an event in which the participation fees is 200, and we are going to give you a book worth 150 or 300 free of cost, include some snacks or stuff. But you start building a community in that way. See the places through which you can make money. Because I know that building a community around this is going to be easy for you, because people are actually fanatics and people love reading books. But you need to figure out the right way, how many ways can you actually monetize it for. Like advertisements is one of the ways in which you can have sponsored content. Like the people who are writing books, you can say that, okay, we have a collaboration with Coke, that you have to mention Coke in every 3 to 5 pages, or probably in the whole book you have to mention Coke around 12 times, and for that you are going to be paid 12,000. So now the cost of publishing also goes down by the sponsorship. Sponsorship cannot be taken after the book is launched. Ideally, it has to be taken before the script is finalized and gone for printing. So that is again one of the aspects that, okay, we are going to help the authors get in touch with the brands who can actually sponsor content within your books. So that is going to get additional visibility for the brand, because see, advertisements, people are generally habitual of skipping the advertisements. Even in YouTube, people want to skip ads. But if they are reading a book, they never know that from where the ad is going to pop up. So sponsored content in books is going to be a very big thing in the future. If you are new in this industry and you can pivot your business model to incorporate the inclusion of brands in the whole concept, so that is going to be very good. And that is going to give you tons of money. Probably royalties, perpetual royalties, and stuff like that can be figured out.
That's very great actually. Sponsorship.
I'll go off stage now. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Karan. Thanks a lot. I'm just pulling up Setse as well. He has a few things to share.
Good morning. I'm going to try and put on my video. Yes, there you go. Hi, Ishra. Hi, Asha. Am I audible? Can you hear
Yeah,
me
yeah,
properly?
yeah.
Okay, great. I like the idea. I haven't read as many books as other people on the platform, but I think I like you as a person, and I think that's an important USP. Being someone who loves reading and who's engaged in a reading environment. So my ideas or suggestions that I have, for example, is building, a Facebook for readers, as an example. You taking or building a platform where readers can come and engage even outside of reading books. So is there a platform where they can discuss books, but they can discuss anything that's maybe what's the word? Intellectual. It's like a group of intellectuals that like to discuss intellectual stuff. So you can have a Facebook at a high level of readers. The other thing which I'd like to suggest as well is there's people who read books. My wife will read like Maeve Binchy and might have one book in a series that they're missing. So you can have people who can trade books. Someone might have a copy that they have available that they can trade to complete a series. So I'm thinking in a book world, that there might be books that are valuable that can either be sold or traded. That someone is looking for, because you get books that get published. Some were published a long time ago, and someone's looking for a copy, but they don't have one, but they'll die because it's just an avid reader. They want to have it in the library, and you might have someone else across the world who's got a copy and they're willing to give it away. So that might be something to consider in terms of selling or monetizing the platform. But what is important is what I started with. It's you need to create a business that's really centered around yourself. So that's your USP. You are the USP, because other things already exist. There's already online book reviews. There's already online this and that and the other. Your USP is, the gap that you are seeing in the market, or something that's unique to you that you want to create. And I also like to advise that you mustn't get caught up in the clutter that already exists. You trying to create something that's unique. It might not make sense right now, but it will make sense later. So try stick to with what you started and build on that, because you understand it better. And like I said, it's your USP.
Awesome, awesome. I think this point is also highlighted by someone else saying, "Can I just rent a book rather than buy a book?" kind of feature, right? Because if someone's read it already, can I borrow it, right? So if all of that is also a possibility on the platform, it may be an additional monetization. Though at some level you will have to pick between I sell books versus I rent books.
Yeah,
Because doing both is tricky. So because if you're going the author route, right, saying this is what we do now, typically what you can also do then after that is, after you discuss a book, you can have an affiliate link to sell that book.
yeah, that I have even right
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So I guess I guess that's a roundabout. I'll try and pull up Chakradhar as well. Any thoughts that you'd want to kind of share with Setse before I just pull up someone else for suggestions? I think you didn't hear me. Okay, cool. Right, so she's still trying to figure out. I think she's got so many suggestions now that she's just processing all of it, right?
Yeah.
No, sounds good. Thanks a lot, Setse. I'm just
All
going to
right.
try and pull up someone else. Yeah.
Hey, a couple of more ideas for you. There are a lot of things on the question box, and I think later on you can review them. So, one of the key skills that professionals will have to have is writing. And so, reading, writing, conversations, these are skills that we can sell to corporates. Uh,
Yeah.
And one of the things you can do, and I have a number of English teachers on my network, is you can bring them on board. The people with PhDs in literature, for example, don't know, but I think I'm sure they can do a whale of a good for you. What I'll try for you is try to take you to one of the corporates, the only corporate on my website, on my LinkedIn page, and see if I can get something for you curated with them, white label, and take it to one of the large corporates for what you are bringing to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Taking off on Karan's point, that if you have engineering specific or product development specific, then company will allow you to, or they will be interested in your product. So how you have your open, where you're having comments from the rest of the world, but this company is seeing only the comments for product development or construction for that matter. So in LinkedIn and all that, discussions are open. It doesn't come to everybody.
Yeah.
If I want to look at construction, or if I want to look at a certain post or certain project in construction, for example, you can't find that in LinkedIn. It's very hard. So you could potentially do that kind of a service and take it to the corporates.
Got it.
So I rest.
Actually, one thought that I have from him talking about writers is this. Actually, becoming a better writer is a lot more value than reading a better book at some level. Because if I become a better writer, the value that I can kind of create, like to myself, like get a fan following, write better on LinkedIn, write better on emails, write better in the corporate world, write a book creatively, all of that stuff, right? How becoming a better writer is, let's say, way more monetizable as as a feature, because a lot of people realize that writing well is a reasonable superpower, right? Because that's how you get your fan following, you get your people to read and things like that. So how to write so people read, I think that's a big feature. Again, whether you're focusing on readers who want to just discuss, whether they're discussing writing styles, that can be another one, right? What did they like about the way they explained a certain scenario, right? Now that will cause better writing. So and even if you want to break it down into how to write on LinkedIn so people like your post, I'm just saying, it may just be as simple as that. But when you do these kind of things, they end up as workshops, more monetizable. People will join that club because they want to learn that skill, right? So all of these are more monetizable than, hey, I want to discuss something, right? Because
no, what Ishwar says, there's a lot more to it. Is in the old days, when you were to meet somebody, they would say that the first thing you should talk to them about is a book you've read, which is of interest to the other person. So, we used to really hunt for such things, because I'm going to meet this professor, or I'm going to meet that businessman. What is he reading or she reading? And the way to have a good conversation and a really neutral one is to discuss a book. Hey, what do you think about that book? I thought this was really neat about that book. So your audience get prepared for those kind of conversations.
So that on that note, one of the reasons which I don't very much highlight why I started Narrative was also that I wanted to know what the big people are reading on a daily basis. Let's say Elon Musk or Warren Buffett. So I imagine them to be on my platform, and them sharing collections of the articles also, like not just books. These people release books, book list, especially Bill Gates does that. But then I want to know what articles they are reading, what thought process are they having when they are reading. That is something that I want to know. So of course I don't think I can get them right now.
It's not hard. It's not hard. You just write an email or figure out somebody to tell them about Narrative. It's so hard to get them on. The related point was, can you be able to get a blog into Merative? How will you
Hmm.
get a blog with Merative? So it'll be easier to people to follow. But then the other thing, like I was taking out on conversations, the other thing I posted on the chat window is also that critical thinking skills is important.
Hmm.
So, like things like presidential decision making gets discussed in LinkedIn all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
So, did this president decide properly, or that president, and so on. So, but the thinking skills is missing. So,
Hmm.
a link, an additional add-on is how do you improve your for example, reading comprehension is absolutely crucial for GMATs, IIM, TISS, all of these exams.
Hmm.
So this is suggesting how, or attending workshops. You can have on your site a workshop which
Hmm.
basically a partner is offering, and people sign on to it. You take 10% of it, that's enough for you. And they will come and they will get into getting the reading comprehension up, for example. So that's
Hmm.
a brilliant way of getting revenues to you.
Yeah.
And don't feel shy about talking to anybody. Like I mentioned a couple of names like James Altucher, for example. Yeah,
Hmm.
if he mentions about you, 100,000 people will just come onto your website immediately.
Yeah. Oh,
So, yeah.
yeah.
So
Right. Right.
just telling them about it is important. Okay. So uh, the thing to do is um, every few days or even every second, third day, whoever is discussing a book on LinkedIn, they should come onto Merative, and
Hmm.
you should start off a discussion on a certain book and see if you're able to catch up. There are lots of bibliophiles on LinkedIn. I
Hmm.
can rattle off 15, 20 of them right now. So bring them on board and have it go on in LinkedIn as well. So one
Hmm.
of the things I do is all the book mentions I have seen in the last 10 days, I will link them to Merative website.
Oh,
Okay.
great.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you. Thank you so much.
that will start
Hey,
some people. Yeah. I'll
awesome. Thanks.
Thank
Kirtiman wanted to come up, but can you just raise your hand again? I think I kind of lost you. Yeah. Hey, yeah, Kirtiman.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. First of all, our website looks really clean and good. So good work on that. Even like you mentioned that you used a no-code builder for that, but that still required good effort and eye, and you nailed that. So congrats on that part. My one hesitation about your platform since beginning, and I wrote on your page also, is about like why I would ditch Goodreads, Quora Spaces, and Medium, because from all this written part, right, the comment and discussions, everything, what you are proposing is which is being already sold by these massively scalable solutions, right? Like
you.
when it comes to say book reviews or discussions around books, Goodread is something which is like taking over almost say 80% of the market share right now. As a reader, so I haven't read that many books as Chakraja has, but still like in a month I usually do 4 to 5 books. Okay, so in that I find that I use Kindle, which is on ebook. So that is the next thing which I want to touch base on. uh, Goodread actually analyze my reading patterns, my interest with their integration with Kindle, right, and keep suggesting me the new titles, as well as I can go to their platform and have all the social interaction with the like-minded, with the strangers, without worrying about my privacy or other stuff, right? Because the moderation part and the security part is being handled by them. So I am not going to fall into a pit where I don't know where somebody is hijacking my conversation into something else. which is a big problem if you go with the text based. Like if you follow a Twitter thread, right? The original thread would have started with something else, and after a couple of replies, it would completely go into some political or religious bias and related noise. The original meaning has been gone long. So with the text-based discussions, that is the biggest problem, and that is being faced by everyone. Not just I'm saying that your platform, but that is being faced by everyone. And the only solution is for that is right now is to moderate heavily. So one of the question to you was that how you're planning to moderate, because when you saw me the demo in your presentation, you saw that user can add a collection or a topic article. They can tag a book, right? How do you think that the search engine optimizers, so-called search engine optimizers, who backride on posting such fake questions on Quora, for instance, aren't going to use your platform for spamming? Like what sort of moderation practices you are going to imply? So that is my first question. And then the second, coming to the from the Kindle world or the ebooks world, I see that few participants have mentioned about renting a book and selling the books and everything. That is still a good market share because there are a lot of people who prefer print media or like the printed version, right? But with the ease of self-publishing, on the ebook, Amazon Kindle provide you a free platform where anyone can become a writer, right? I can publish my own book, but publishing a paperback is a little harder for a new writer. So when you are trying to be a platform for focused on writers to give them a market, like following the suggestions in this brainstorming sessions, right? You need to take care of that ebook market share and how you are planning to integrate with that aspect. Like how you are planning to bring the value to me that Goodread is going giving me right now as a Kindle user, or and I think that right now you're branching on two different aspects. One is article and one is books, right? Both are completely different because when I am reading an article, I am going for a specific topic predetermined. I am just not randomly pulling an article over the internet and just going through it. I already have a mindset about it that I want to read this article, right? And then I want to form my opinion, which would be most of the time would be either in favor or either in opposition. In both cases, I can express my short note on the comment section of that article itself, right? And if I want to discuss on that topic itself, right, then this article is not just one article is not just enough. I want to discuss the topic in detail with I can use that article as a reference to my discussion, that okay, I read about this there and there and there, like in the footnotes. But that article alone can't help me to build an opinion around my belief or deep dive into the same topics discussion. I can just talk about the article itself on the article page, and that would be like a paragraph, not more than that, as I understand and I believe. But for the books, it could your room feature could bring a big value, and that could be your USP right now. So you should be looking into focusing on rooms feature rather than text-based discussions. That's my only suggestion. And yes, that moderation question is for you.
Yeah, so the thing is how we are different from Goodreads. The majority of reason why people use Goodreads is not to actually socially interact or discuss, but to catalog their reads, like their wish list, what they have read, what's on their read later, as well as for reviews. Like for making that decision as to if they want to purchase that book. So before purchasing the book, I also go to I check the Amazon reviews or the Goodreads reviews, whatever comes first in my Google search. I do check all those and make a decision as to for purchasing the book or not. And though I don't use the cataloging feature a lot, actually I don't use it at all. But the reviews part is what, and I have done a survey also, like with the present, people who are active users of Goodreads, and these two are the major features that they use. I have also explored their discussion forum and everything, and they do not. I'm not very sure if they want to really emphasize on that particular thing because there are not a lot of discussions that actually take place. Maybe there are a lot that will take place for the bigger bestsellers ones, but I'm very sure it's not a very uh, engaging platform as of now because that doesn't suit the agenda of Amazon. Amazon just bought Goodreads because they wanted the reviews. If you see the Amazon reviews and the Goodreads review, they are very they overlap actually. I mean, the Amazon reviews won't be there on Goodreads, but Goodreads review will be for sure available on the Amazon one. So uh, I don't know if, but in future, if I become very big and if Amazon wants to seize me as threat or whatever, they will probably try to invoke the community aspect of them. But at present, I have seen their community aspect is not a lot. They are more focusing on contests, challenges. The number that is there as to how many I've read is what their unique selling point is and what people really use it for. But on the contrary, I do not want to first of all deep dive a lot into books. Like get completely into it as Goodreads has, because the idea of narrative right now is to discuss if there is a particular concept in the book or if a concept in an article is something that you like. For example, let's say lean startup. Okay, yesterday I came across not yesterday, long back, of a concept called jobs to be done, which is widely publicized by Intercom. So they have a lot of articles on jobs to be done. So, but that jobs to be done is also being mentioned in books like Lean Startup or Four Steps to Epiphany as well. So the core crux of discussion is this jobs to be done, irrespective of the book or the article. If you want to tag an article, you tag an article. If you want to tag a book, because you came across it in a book, you can use a book for the same. So the idea and the discussion and conversations on those is what at least I want to focus upon. And that's why in the rooms also we have pre-decided discussion points. We Whoever wants to join, we actually decide that these are discussion points we are going to talk about, and which is usually decided by everyone, and then we go and talk about it. And those discussion points are ideas actually, you know and they are not what is happening in the story, which is what is emphasized in Goodreads reviews. you know they actually talk about what is there in the story. If they liked it, they give some star reviews and everything, which suits Amazon's thing, because for them book is a product in the end of the day. But for us it is we don't even have rating system as such. We don't want you to rate or
So
anything.
just going to pause this discussion a little bit, right? So that we can just take one more suggestion before we kind of wrap up and move to the lounge, right?
I think I
Uh,
can discuss with Kirtiman later on, like.
yeah.
Sure.
Right. Yeah, I think we're just trying to ensure that time and stuff like that. I saw one discussion, Rachit. I don't know if you're around and if you can raise your hand, but he had an interesting point of weaving this in with literary clubs and colleges.
Yeah, I
Right.
do. I have this campus ambassador program.
Yeah, I'll just pull Rachit up. I guess if you already have it, but that was a kind of a pointer that he had. Hey, Rachit, go ahead.
Hello, sir. Yeah, so when I was in MIT, there was a literature club which was
Yeah.
literally huge. Lots of people were members there, and they used to have a weekly discussion. They would just meet up in a class or in our auditorium. They will discuss about new topics. They will have a debate. So I was
Mm.
thinking like classes are going online, and these clubs couldn't go anywhere. So you have a very good option. Have
Yeah.
create a room, so they can create a room there. They can have discussion there. They can go live or on any social media channel. This could be a very huge thing for this niche. I was thinking.
Yeah, I'm trying to move in that direction now to capitalize on the different colleges that are there. So I just started this campus ambassador program, and I'm making these ambassadors conduct these sessions. I have not partnered directly with literally clubs because I think it's very difficult to reach them, like and partner them, because I tried doing that first, connect with literary clubs, but उनका ना बहुत hierarchy वगैरह सब committee वगैरह रहता है. But this was very easy to get some campus ambassador. Now it's the responsibility of the ambassador to do everything.
Yeah, campus and batch is one of the
Yeah,
best things. Seriously,
yeah.
Hey,
that's all. Thank
perfect.
you.
Thanks a ton. Thanks a ton, Rashid. Hey, sounds good. So we're just going to, yeah, I think we've extended a little over our 12 o'clock mark that we try and hit. We normally try and stop at least, but sometimes the conversation just flows. I think today was like phenomenal brainstorming itself. You'll probably have to do a lot of processing and determine what exactly is relevant to you and what you have to implement from this, like in the near future, either as a strategic choice that you're making or near term product features and
Mm.
monetization strategies that you're doing. I guess you have enough and more to any final thoughts for the audience and
Yeah.
Harshila, if you can just kind of.
Yeah, so I mean, thank you so much. I have tried to write. My notes have already gone, I think, 2 pages. With all the ideas that you guys have shared, and it was really helpful. I got some of the really amazing insights. I never thought about venturing into education, the sector, but the majority of books that are actually sold are education books. And it's a billion-dollar industry, and that's actually what accounts the most of the book industry. So I think that's a major takeaway that I have taken, that which I was ignoring till now. Even after knowing this fact, engaging all fiction people and startup people and everything. But I think at some point I need should venture into education industry and ensure that they are coming on board and do something for them. Is one of the major takeaways that I have taken right now, and of course, doing something for the writers, workshops, and that is also something that I can really provide. And of course, if anybody here wants to partner with me or can would like to collaborate with me in any way, I'm very much open, and we could see some synergies together as to how we can work, so that is something that I would like to part with. And then thank you so much, everyone. I'm reading the comments and everything. I think we have some questions or something.
Yeah,
I'll
there's a
raise my
bunch.
hand now.
Unfortunately, we couldn't take all of it. I have copied a few of these questions onto your page, but maybe you can just spend a little bit of time and just go through the entire chat,
Yeah.
go through all the questions. At least ensure that you have the dump of all the suggestions left. After that, you can pick and choose what you think you can implement now, what do you want to junk, what you want to kind of thing. I think that's the objective of this, right? Just to give you very diverse viewpoints on the problem that you are trying to solve, right? I mean, and
Yeah.
just look at it from different angles, more from a view of eventually trying to build out a sustainable business, right? So perfect. Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining us today, Harshila. Thanks a lot, everyone, for coming in. I'm sorry, actually, we have got such a huge amount of feedback and suggestions and questions. I actually couldn't cover it in this time frame. I couldn't pull up everybody. I see a lot of comments from Swaminath as well, which I somehow missed while looking at chat. I didn't look at questions, all of that. But as usual, post session, we kind of enable networking. The lounge is open. You can come and just talk about what you're solving, what your problems are, what challenges you're facing, or just kind of a quick update on, hey, I was doing this and this is how far I've progressed, right? It's just a good way to kind of keep in sync with all that's happening with other folks here as well, and just kind of share what you're building. Thanks a lot, everyone. We'll take a break. We'll join you a little while later on the tables. Yeah. Thanks.
This is an amazing, and like I would just like to appreciate you as well and your initiative at Unsolved. I don't remember exactly how I stumbled. I think I stumbled upon it on Twitter. And then I signed up, and I was like, this is great. Actually, you people are coming, and I started filling up the whole profile and everything. I actually went made the founder video also, because in your Unsolved there is this feature of adding founder video and demo video. So I was neglecting all this time about that, but I think I've seen one thing I've noticed, that whatever is there in Unsolved is something that I mean, fields that you have is something that we should, as a startup, be thorough with, and it's a very well thought of, because I've seen a lot of startup related platforms, but this is the most comprehensive and to the point platform that I have seen till now.
Awesome. Okay, that's really good to hear. Thank you so much. We've put a fair bit of effort just trying to ask the right questions,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
Asking
yeah,
the right questions is something that is there. Yeah.
awesome. Thanks a lot. That made my day.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break and kind of join you folks on the tables. Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone.
thanks.